everybody. Welcome to Tea Time. That's right. It's Monday night, 8 o'clock, and it's July 20th. Woo! This month's almost over, isn't it? So listen, I'm going to talk about my weekend real quick and get to my guests because you know my 55 minutes goes fast. So Friday night, I really didn't do too much because I had my first show on Saturday night doing stand-up, and so I prepped. I was prepping on Friday and very nervous because, let's face it, we haven't gotten on stage in a while. And Saturday morning, I should say, I got up early and I went to Franklin Square to support rescuing families. That's right, my friend Gina and Vinny had their huge yard sale to make money to help people with disabilities. And then that night, I performed at Coasters with Kristen Tinsley Productions. She produced the show, and it was a great show. And I have to say, all the comics, we were a little, I have to say, pretty much we were all a little like, you know, like taking off the training wheels and learning how to ride a two-wheeler again. It was a little shaky in the beginning, but then once we kept pedaling faster and faster, we all settled in, and it was a smooth ride, and it was a great show. I want to thank my girl Kristen and Coasters for putting that show together, because I know myself and Fat Jay, our last show was at Dangerfields on March 9th, and it was a little rocky, but it was a great show. And then Sunday morning, I got up again, went back to rescuing families, because I wanted to support them again. And then I went to my brother's house in Massapequa and hung out social distance in the backyard. So I hope everyone had a great weekend. I hope everyone on the East Coast is staying cool, because it's pretty brutal here. You know, it feels like Florida without the palm trees. And today, I think it got up to like 101 with the humidity. Wasn't a good hand day. I had to come home and, you know, because I have naturally curly hair like my guest, and I was like, I got to blow out my hair. So listen, hello, Ron and Frank Fayella and everyone, listen to me right now. This is going to be a great show. Every week's a great show, but this week's going to be a good show too. I want you to like the show and share it. Share it, share it, share it. I want to introduce my guest. I am so thrilled and blessed to have Kathy Ladman is here with me. Hi, Kathy.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. I just had to get up to turn the fan on because it's warm. And it's not even so warm here, but I just got warm in here because I had to shut the window over here.
Yeah. I know. I shut my air off during the show, so you don't hear it when it goes off.
Oh my God! You have no air on, and it's like in the 90s there.
We'll be fine for the next hour. But listen, I want to tell everyone you're an actress, you're an actor, you're a comedian, you're a writer, and you've had a very interesting, lovely, beautiful career. And first, I want to say that you're a Queens girl like me. You grew up in Little Neck.
Yes, I did.
And we found out that we both went to the same high school.
Yes, but probably not. I don't know if we went.
No, I know. You graduated in 72?
I graduated in January of 72. And
I graduated in 82.
Yes.
Yeah. So we went to Benjamin and Cardozo High School. Shout out to everyone at Dozo. I'm sharing it to the Benjamin and Cardozo page on Facebook.
Oh, good. I had a miserable time there.
Did you really?
I hated high school. I was so unhappy in high school. I just didn't have a social life. I graduated when I was 16, and I went right off to college.
Wow. And you studied English education and media and communication at the University of Albany SUNY.
Right.
Correct? And you actually, after you did that, you taught 8th grade English for
like a year? 1 year.
But you hated it.
Well, it was never what I wanted to do. So I knew from the age of 13 that I wanted to do stand-up, but I was scared. I was too scared to pursue it, so I fell right into teaching, and then I just knew it wasn't what I wanted to do, so I decided to go after what I wanted to do finally.
So the first time you were on stage ever was in Philly, because that's where you were teaching?
In Philly. That's the summer after I taught. I performed at a place called Grandma Minnie's.
Minnie's.
I don't think it was around that much longer, but. I did 2 open mics there. And then I went to California for a vacation, and I decided I was going to move out to California and do stand-up, and then I didn't do it. When I moved out, I didn't go near a club. I was too terrified. And then I lasted for 4 months in California, moved back to New York, and kind of found myself for the next couple of years. I floundered and was, just really not really doing what I wanted to do. And then finally I said, I have to do this. Right. I just have to do it.
So it was June 28th, 1981 when you hit the stage at Good Times in Manhattan?
Yes. And I just celebrated 39 years in stand-up.
God bless. That's
amazing. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I mean, where did that go?
Here.
Let me tell you, we're going to talk about your hair later, but I have to say, you look beautiful and you're wearing that silver fox well.
Thank you.
I love it. So you got on stage at Good Times, and what'd you do? Did you have 5 minutes of material?
I did 5 minutes, yeah.
And did you take any classes to?
I did take a class. I took a stand-up class just to get my feet wet, and I would get on stage and do material. We would all, the students would do material, and then when you had 5 minutes, the teacher would say, okay, you got 5 minutes, go to Good Times. That's where he sent us. Right. So he said that to me one night, and I put it in my book. I had to write it in my date book to go because I didn't want to chicken out. And I went and I picked a number from the bucket and got a good number the first night. I was number 4.
Nice.
Yeah. And I had a great show. That was a Sunday night. And then the next night, Monday night, they also did an open mic, and I had a terrible show, but it didn't stop me. It didn't stop me. I knew I was on the right path.
Right. And where did you take your class?
It was Dick Lord, who was a Catskill comic, was giving a class, and I actually met my friend Larry Amoros was in that class, and he and I are still friends today. It was just in a rehearsal space in Manhattan.
Yeah. My friends they handed me a birthday card. It said your birthday fantasy. So, this is back in the 90s. So I'm thinking a night with Antonio Sabato Jr. back then.
Yes.
And it was a comedy class at the Learning Annex.
Oh, wow.
With a gentleman named Richard Mincer.
Yes.
And then you had to perform at Stand Up New York. And that's how I started.
Wow.
Yeah. And you had your 5 minutes, and it was nerve-wracking. And he said to me, okay, Teresa, you're going to go up first. And I'm like, I don't want to go up first. I mean, the more they drink, the funnier I am. And he goes, well, you're the funniest one in your class. I'm like, well, does that mean everyone else sucks? Am I really that funny? He's like, no. He goes, I want you up first. And it was like a deer in headlights. When I got up there, I was like everything went out of my head. And I remember I had an index card with bullets on it. That I had on the table in front of me, and all I did was look down, glance at it, and then once I saw the first word, I was off to the races, so to speak. So, but it really is nerve-wracking. But you kept going, and you were doing comedy 8 years, and you end up on the Tonight Show.
I know. It's so funny because I remember when Johnny Carson asked me how long I've been doing stand-up, and I said 8 long years. I thought that was a long time. And it's nothing.
Right. No, I mean, that's a very unusual accomplishment. People are usually doing comedy so much longer. You did a lot in the 8 years. And I want to know how you got that gig after 8 years of doing comedy.
Well, I think that I had been seen by the booker, whose name was Jim McCauley. He had seen me before and had said that I wasn't ready. And finally he said that I was ready, and I'm glad that he had said that I wasn't ready because I was more than ready. Right. And it was a good thing to do a show that big to be more than ready. Right. It's not good to rush into that. No. It was too important. There was too much visibility. And it was just thrilling. It was the best setup of, I've done a lot of late night shows, and it was the best physical setup. Yeah. You're on the floor and the whole audience was above you. Yes. And the close-up camera was right in front of you, and it was it was really made for you to do well.
That was you, but the first show there, I mean, you did 9 shows, 9 on the Tonight Show. But the first one was actually with Jay Leno back in '89, because he was he was filling in for Johnny, right?
Right. It was before Jay actually, it was before he actually officially had the show.
Right.
And they were transitioning him into hosting the show.
And so the first time went well, and then they asked you to come back 8 more times.
Yeah, it was great. It was really great.
You were also very lucky, because I think you were one of the only female comics, if I'm not mistaken, to appear on the last 2 Johnny Carson Tonight anniversary shows, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, those were so special. I remember watching the last show, just crying with everyone else.
Yeah, that was pretty thrilling. Oh, yes, I remember that. Yes, I know that last show was really.
It was, Bette Midler sang, and it was.
Yes.
Oh, it was a tearjerker. So I want to know, where did you go and how did you transition? Because, I mean, you were doing comedy, and then all of a sudden, you're doing films, you're doing TV, everything came together. But what came first, the film or the television?
I can't remember, actually. I think television was first, but I was on the road, and I think I didn't allow myself to stay in town long enough to audition for things. I was so busy doing the road, and I wouldn't say no to jobs. And it's really important to say no to jobs if you want to do something else. You have to be present in order to be in the game. Yeah. So finally, I would stay back for pilot season, and I was able to do a few pilots, and then I just kept auditioning and was booking.
So did you find that you liked the acting more than the stand-up, or were they pretty equal for you?
I think they were pretty equal for me. They were just a very different skill set. Really different skill set, but I really enjoyed acting a lot. I mean, I like it because it's not as solitary, it's not as lonely. Yeah, and I love working.
It's more of a team sport. So
yes, it definitely is. It definitely is.
Comedy, you're up there pretty much naked by yourself, trying to make people laugh. I want to know: is there anyone that you wanted to work with in comedy that you haven't yet?
Yeah, and I really wanted to do Letterman's show, and I never got to do that. Mm-hmm. And that's not a regret, but I wish I had an opportunity to do that, because I wanted to play to that New York audience.
Oh, absolutely.
It would have been so fun for me.
Nothing like a New York audience. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, listen, we're going to take our first quick break. I don't want anyone to go away. I have more with Kathy Ladman, so stay right there, people. We'll be right back.
We all get married with no intention to get divorced and want that happily ever after. Unfortunately, 50% of marriages don't survive. Kim Tinsley can help you navigate, negotiate, and mediate your divorce. Please give Kim a call at 516-972-3214. That's 516-972-3214. So where do you want to go tonight?
Are you bored?
Oh my God!
Hold on tight. We're gonna coast us.
Well, hi there, Teresa. It's John York from General Hospital. I am just checking in because someone you know and love, whose name happens to be Valerie, is very, very proud of you for all the work you're doing. Apparently, you have a great talk show called Tea Time with Teresa Farrell on Strong Island TV. Now, is that tea time? Is that a golf show about making a tea time and then playing a great round of golf? Or is that tea time where you gals are all sitting around sipping tea and talking about General Hospital? I like that idea. But I also like the golf idea because I'm a golfer, as maybe you know. Anyway, and she also tells me that you do some comedy with a group called the Hot Italian Chicks. Oh no, it's the Italian Chicks. I think you should change the name to the Hot Italian Chicks, don't you? I do. Anyway, I'm proud of you. Valerie is very, very proud of you. I want you to have continued great success and have a lot of fun. It sounds like you're having a lot of fun, and that's pretty much the key to everything, isn't it? So stay safe during this crazy, crazy COVID time, and stay healthy. I understand General Hospital might be coming back into production in mid-July, which I'm very excited about. I hope that works out, that they figure out all the safety precautions that we need to take to get back into production. Valerie also tells me that you've been a fan for since what? You were a teenager, and that was about 10, 15 years ago. So thank you for 10, 15 years of your dedicated support. So continued success with Tea Time with Teresa Farrell, a fantastic talk show, and the Hot Italian Chicks. I'll take credit for renaming your group. And have a lot of fun. No doubt you are. It sounds like you are. So congratulations. Valerie, thanks for letting me know how awesome your mom is. All right, sweetie. Have a great day, Teresa. Bye.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Tea Time. I'm so glad you're joining me tonight. I just want to thank really quickly my sponsors for sponsoring the show. If you want to be a sponsor and sponsor my show, I would love to advertise for you. You get a 30-second professional commercial, and it could be either video or still with a voiceover. We advertise you 3 times within the hour, and it's ridiculously priced low. So you could contact me or Bobby Lacera at Strong Island Television, Paradise Studios in Massapequa. Also, I want to thank John York for the shout out from General Hospital. John, you know I love you. Hoping to have you on my show. Back now with Kathy Ladman. Kathy is an actor. She's a comedian. She's a writer. She's been doing stand-up and performance.
I have a question for you.
Oh, you do?
Yes. You did stand-up at a club on this past weekend?
It wasn't a club. It was a bar. It's a bar called Coaster's Tavern. It's in East Meadow.
And you did it live?
We did it live. What happened was that the establishment holds 100 people. So we were only allowed to let in half of the capacity, but we let in 40 people because you had to include the comics,
right,
and the employees,
right.
And it was all social distanced. The comics went up, and we had to put on our own, which I don't have on me. It's a condom mic. It's a
on the mic, yeah,
condom mic.
Right.
So the MC Kristen would take hers off. I would go up, put mine on. When you're done handling the microphone, you went off to the side, and there was hand sanitizer on the wall, dispenser. It was done if I didn't feel comfortable in any kind of way, shape, or form, I wouldn't have participated. But it was, hello, Kristen Tinsley. We're talking about you and your amazing show and how you're a great producer, writer, comic. She does everything. She does everything too. And I was telling Kathy about the show. It was great. And everyone was just ready to come back and laugh. And like I said, everyone was a little shaky in the beginning, but then once we found our mojo again, it flowed. It was great. It was really. Now,
was the audience masked or not?
Well, what they do is when you're sitting down with your group or sitting at a bar, you don't have to wear a mask, and everyone's 6 feet apart. When you get up, you're not allowed to get up to go to the bar. Servers have to come to you. Right. But if you want to get up and walk around, or you want to go outside, or you want to go to the bathroom, you have to walk around with the mask on. And I have to say, everyone followed the rules because everyone was there to laugh and to be safe. So shout out to Kristen Tinsley, and thank you. Yeah, we did rock. It was a great show. We did.
That's great.
We had a lot of fun, and can't wait to do it again. Of course, they want us back, so we'll see if we can do something again in August. But I'm here with Kathy. Thank you for asking. Hello, Joe LaPerna. Kristen Tinsley's watching. Charles Goonin's watching. I want everyone to like this show and share it, okay? Kathy's had an amazing career. We're talking about, she did the Tonight Show 9 times. And, you know, you also were on the Late Show.
Yeah, that was great fun too. Yes.
You know, and you're so flawless. I mean, you just.
No,
I listen to me. I love your comedy. Okay, because you talk about things that are relatable, and you know, and yourself and your family and everything else. And you know, I've watched you. I followed you, not like a stalker in a weird way, but I love that you're a strong female comic and that you bring it. Every time I see you, you bring it. And I love your bit on permanent makeup. And I love your bit when you went for your colonoscopy and how you got away. And I mean, it's just things that we all think about, but it's a matter of like, just, you know, for a comic, writing it down and telling a story.
Right.
And, and I think that, you know, you had, you know, I think once you're on stage as an entertainer and doing comedy, I think it's very easy to cross over to acting, whether it's television or movies. I know I've heard from many actor friends of mine, I will never, and you can't pay me to do stand-up because it's a totally different animal, as we know. But you got into television. So I want to know, what was the first thing you ever did in TV?
You mean acting wise?
Yes.
Well, let me think. They wrote me out of it because it was a pilot for Dolly Parton. It was a variety show. And through no fault of my own, I was written out. I've been fired before, but I wasn't fired this time. Okay. And, but it was really fun. I mean, it was really thrilling, and Dolly Parton was really nice. And that was my very first TV gig. Okay, but since then you've done How to Get Away with Murder. Yes.
Scandal, Pretty Little Liars. You did Brothers and Sisters. I love that show. Everybody Loves Raymond. Just Shoot Me. Roseanne, Modern Family, Mad Men, which I know you love because you were a fan of that show and you watch it. And Curb Your Enthusiasm, which anyone would tell you, it's pretty much all improv.
Yes, it's great fun. I mean, it's, you know where you're going, you know what the skeleton of the scene is, you know what your objective is, but how you're going to get there is pretty much in the moment. Yeah. And then, you know, you do several takes and they tell you that was great, let's keep that. And this time try talking to this person and remember to do this, and it's really exciting.
I have to tell you, not too many people know this story. Joe LaPerna saying she did this joke that she was a substitute teacher for someone named Susan and tells the kids that Susan is dead.
Yes. That's a
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for watching that. Hello, Bruno. That's funny that you see that. Okay. Hello, everyone watching. Like the show, share it. Thank you. Now I just lost my train of thought. We were talking about
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yes, no one knows this story, but I missed my opportunity to meet Larry.
Oh, how did that happen?
Well, I was actually in the hospital a few years ago, like we were discussing before the show.
Right.
And he was in the same waiting room as me.
Oh.
Waiting to see a doctor. And you have to understand, he was trying to be a little incognito because he had on a baseball cap and he was slouched down, behind a paper. And I'm going, God, he looks so familiar. He looks so familiar. And I was kind of like racking my brain. And by the time I realized it was Larry, I was like, damn it. Because I am not a shy person in any way, shape, or form. You know, my father taught me, again, it never hurts to ask. All a person can say is no. Right. So I've heard a lot of no's in my life. And I would have definitely walked up to him and said, hello, my name is, it's nice to meet you. Love your work. That's all I would kind of sad.
Right.
But I missed the opportunity. But I'm a big fan of his. I'm a big fan of the show. And I did see, you know, you were on the show twice. You played yourself once, and then you played a character.
Right.
How different was that for you to improv?
Well, it was completely different. When I played myself, I was myself. It was completely, you know, second nature. And then, but it was actually even more fun to play a character because I could really get lost in it, and I could do stuff that I wouldn't, you know, normally wouldn't do. I think I was a little meaner than I am,
right,
as a person, but it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, I mean, tell me what you did with Oprah. You did something with Oprah?
Oh, that was back when that movie Punchline came out with Tom Hanks and Sally Field.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were going to have, they wanted, Tom Hanks was promoting the movie, and so he was going to be on, and then they wanted some comics to be on the show. And I was one of them whom they chose to come on. It was really fun.
I was going to say that.
Tom Hanks was great. And then I ended up doing a movie with him years later.
Wow.
And we talked about that.
Which movie was that?
Charlie Wilson's War.
Oh, that's right. Charlie Wilson's War. I got that. Yeah, that's great. Wow.
He's a nice man, Tom Hanks.
You know, he seems so genuine, and then you hear him, and I mean, I loved him in Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I mean, I think he could do anything, the man, really.
Yeah, he's a terrific actor on a real.
So listen, we're going to take another quick break. We're going to come right back with Kathy Ladman. Don't go away, because when we come back, we're going to talk about, you know, what she's done as far as theater and movies and writing and her one-woman show. There's so much more. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Sorry, my mic was off.
So where do you want to go tonight?
Why don't we go to Coasters?
Oh, cool. I heard it's a great place. Let's check it out.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Oh my God. We all get married with no intention to get divorced and want that happily ever after. Unfortunately, 50% of marriages don't survive. Kim Tinsley can help you navigate, negotiate, and mediate your divorce. Please give Kim a call at 516-972-3214. That's 516-972-3214.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Tea Time. I am so glad you're tuning in tonight. Please like the show and share it. I'm with Kathy Ladman. She is an actor, she's a comedian, she's a writer. She's done so much, had such a beautiful career, and obviously we're all on a little pause during this COVID time, and a lot of gigs have gotten canceled with everybody in this entertainment industry. You know, she started in stand-up full-time back in June 1981. We just talked about her being on all these amazing television shows, but I want to get to theater. Let's talk about the theater. Tell me about the JAP show, and does it stand for Jewish American Princess?
Yes, and it does. And I was just talking to somebody else about this earlier today. Corey Kahaney, who's another comedian. It was her idea to remember and immortalize these women who paved the way for us to do what we do as stand-up comics. And it was a really great idea, and there were 4 of us in the show, and it was a rotating cast, and I did it twice. I think I probably did it for a total of 9 or 10 weeks. It was done at the Actors Temple, which is on 46th Street in New York, I believe, West 46th, and so each of us highlighted one comic and talked about. I did Jean Carroll, who was a monologist back in the 50s, 60s, I think, or 50s. Now I'm not sure exactly which decade, but it's interesting because, I mean, she was really, she didn't have any kind of hook other than the fact that she just stood up and did a monologue. And it was really very much like what we do today. I mean, she didn't do a character. She didn't have any kind of props, she didn't wear weird costumes. She just stood up and told jokes. Right. And later, probably in the past 3 years, I met these two people, this couple, and the woman turns out is Jean Carroll's granddaughter, which is kind of cool. Yeah, kind of cool.
That's
so there was the Jap show was really fun. It was really fun to do theater in New York City.
Yeah, really there's fun. Nothing like it. I mean, there's nothing really like fun. It. I can't wait for it to come back. Yeah. And
then I did a play a couple of summers ago in LA, which was a lot of fun. Really a lot of fun. I got to use an accent, and it was really great fun.
I love live theater. There's nothing like it.
And then I'm going to do my solo show. I was supposed to do my solo show in October in New York, but the festival got canceled.
Yes, that's your one-woman show called "Does This Show Make Me Look Fat?"
Yes.
And hopefully you're going to come back to New York in 2021 and to do it, right?
Yes, I will. But I hope to do it before that in LA sometime and somewhere there.
Yeah.
Whenever people are starting to go to the theater again, which.
Right. I myself am going to, I don't know if it's going to be a one-woman show or a book, but mine's going to be called "You Have Just a Pretty Face If You Just Lose the Weight."
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Really? Because that's what you were told?
That's what I heard my entire life. So it sticks into your psyche. You carry it around with you, and we're gonna get to that a little later about your one-woman show and what you talk about. But I want to also talk about writing. You went into writing, and you wrote for, and correct me if any of my fun facts are wrong.
Okay.
But you wrote for King of Queens.
I wrote a script for King of Queens. Yes.
The Carroll Show.
Yes, that was in New York.
The Wayne Brady Show.
Yes.
Caroline in the City.
Yes.
And Roseanne.
Yep.
So I got them all right. Did I leave anything out?
I don't think so. No.
So how did that happen?
Well, it was interesting. I wasn't really actively pursuing it. And I just got a call one day from my manager saying that they were interested in hiring me on Roseanne. And what happened was I knew some of the people on staff there, and Roseanne wanted to hire some more women. And one of the women that I knew who was a writer on the show floated my name, and I knew Roseanne from stand-up, and that was it. I mean, I didn't have to write a spec script or anything like that. I just went on staff, and it was a trial by fire. I mean, it was crazy there. It was really crazy. There was a staff of 27 people when we started that season.
I heard the staff was huge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because she could afford it.
Yeah, exactly. And how long were you there?
I was there for just one season, and then the next season I went over to Caroline in the City, and then I left early because I really did not want to be a writer. I really wanted to be in front of the camera.
I was going to say, did you miss performing?
I did.
Yeah. You and I, we like to be in front of the camera.
Yeah, I mean, even though I was a recurring character on the show, it was not the kind of life that I wanted to have.
Right.
And if I had stayed in writing, by now I would have had a pretty nice writing career. But it's not what I wanted to do. Yeah,
it's not where your heart was.
No.
And it's funny because they say, when you make plans, God laughs. And
right.
You went down the path you were supposed to.
Right.
I'm
laughing now.
I just want to talk about a little about you talk about comedy and acting, and You know the difference between a Jewish mother and an Italian mother? You ever hear this joke?
Yes, but I
Do you
forget.
know the joke? The difference between an Italian mother and a Jewish mother is that an Italian mother says, if you don't eat that, I'll kill you. And a Jewish mother says, if you don't eat that, I'll kill myself.
Right.
And that leads me to our next topic, which I want to talk about. I watched your, and anyone can watch it. It's on actually YouTube. In 2014,
Right.
you did a TED Med talk. And I just want to throw out some facts before we get started.
Okay.
Some shout outs. Hello, Linda. Hello, Rebecca. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Grace Matranga from the Boogie Down Bronx. Everyone, please like the show and share it. Okay. So, back in years ago, when you were 19,
Mhm.
you realized that you had an eating disorder.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I that's when I started practicing my eating disorder, but I don't think I really fully realized. I don't think I fully realized it until probably a couple of 2-3 years later.
Yeah. So you started with anorexia at 19.
Right.
And you and I are vertically challenged. I'm only 5'2".
I'm 5'4".
You're 5'4", and you got down to like 85 pounds.
85 pounds, yeah.
Yeah. And you eventually did seek therapy about 4 years later to help you cope with this disease. It's a terrible disease. And, there are a lot of people who look at thin people and say, God, I wish I was thin. And, we don't know what demons people live with unless we're in their shoes.
Right.
I myself grew up with my mother telling me, you have to finish everything on that plate, everything, because there's starving people in this world. So my issue was, because I was heavy my whole life, I still struggle with my weight. I say, COVID-19, here's your COVID-19. It went straight to my ass. That's where it is. It's got its own zip code now. But I was taught that even if you're full, you cannot waste food because there are starving people in the world.
Oh, wow.
So growing up, I was forcing myself to finish what was on my plate. When I should have said to my parents, I'm sorry there are starving people in the world, but my stomach's on full and I don't want to eat this anymore. And I didn't do that. Till this day, I have body dysmorphia. I don't see myself the way everyone else does. I've never been thin my entire life. I've accepted the fact that my inner thighs will rub together the rest of my life.
Everybody's do.
But the point is that anorexia is no joke. And a lot of people think, oh, you're thin, you're lucky. And, when you have anorexia, I'm just going to throw out some stats because my jaw dropped when I read these. Everyone wants to be thin. And you say that, you have to survive an eating disorder and you laugh. We laugh through the pain. And I think a lot of comics make jokes about our lives because we're laughing through the pain. It's kind of like therapy for us. But anorexia has the highest death rate of all mental illness diseases, 20%. 20%, that's 1 out of 5 people. And we should all try to accept our imperfect selves, and it's easy to say, but sometimes it's hard to do. So I want to know how you do that.
Well, I've been in recovery for probably more than 34 years. And I do it a day at a time. And I accept myself to the best of my ability each day. And I probably will always want to lose weight because that's how I see myself. I don't weigh anywhere near 85 pounds now. I weigh a normal weight.
Thank God. And you're
and-
here, and you're here to talk about it.
Right, right. And I really find, I mean, it might sound trite, but I really do my best to love myself and not expect myself to be perfect, which is, it's a disease of perfectionism.
Yeah, it is. I think, look, we all grew up with these images, you know, of what perfect is, but the reality is there is no perfect. There just isn't. It's a hard thing because, you know, we don't have to smoke a cigarette every day. We don't have to have a drink every day, but we have to face food every day.
Right.
And it's 3 times a day for most normal people to look at it. And for me, my struggle is, God, how I would love to wake up in the morning and not be so mindful and just be able to eat normal and healthy and not worry about it. But it's not an easy thing to do. It just isn't.
Well, you know, I found that Overeaters Anonymous has really been helpful to me because it's for any eating disorder. And I found that it's really helped me find a path where I'm not alone. I'm not doing this by myself. There's a fellowship of people who are trying to do what I'm doing every day.
Right.
And I'm a phone call away from any of them, no matter where I am in the world. Yeah. And I do it imperfectly. I'm abstinent imperfectly.
Right. It's a great way. It's a great way to put it. I mean, it's sad because, you know, so many people, there are so many people, there are 23 people. If I get my facts right. There are 23 people, 30 million Americans, 30 million Americans suffer from an eating disorder.
Wow.
And every day, 23 people die as a result of that eating disorder. And, you know, our bodies need the nourishment. So like I said, you know, it's my favorite movie's Fatso. With Dom DeLuise, you know, and it shows the struggle. It shows the struggle and the pain. I think that, you know, everyone can relate to. You know, we all have to look in the mirror, and you're right. We have to love ourselves for the way we are, and know that, you know, it's almost like you don't want to like throw up a white flag and say, I am so tired of dieting. I am so going to lose that 20 pounds by my birthday. Or, you know, I guess it's like you can make realistic goals, but then I find that it's easier for me to like take baby steps. Because if I look at the big picture, I get a little overwhelmed, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, it's a day at a time. And you know, I found that in looking back on my life and my struggle with this, that I was trying to be somebody who I was never meant to be. And no matter how much weight I lost, it was never enough. Right. And I was trying, I would look at an idealized body over there and think, I want to look like that. Well, that's not the way I'm built.
Right, right.
You know?
It's like so, you and I wanting to be 5'6". It's never going to happen.
Exactly. Yeah, we're each unique and we're each different, and which is the same thing.
Now, when you got down to 85 pounds at 5'4", was it your parents or who suggested therapy?
Luckily, I was working at this ad agency at the time. This was 1978. And I was working in an ad agency in New York, and I was in the billing department, and my boss she couldn't be silent any longer, and she came over to me and she said, you need to go see this doctor. It was an internist. And I went to see him. I made an appointment. I walked from 56th and 6th Avenue to 5th Avenue and like 79th Street. I walked there. That's a long walk. And I did everything I did was to burn calories.
And those are long walks. I mean, those are long blocks in Manhattan. Yeah.
And
so were you obsessed? Were you obsessed with working out as well, or was just the food?
Well, not really working out so much, because it was just eating as little as I could, and then walking. I mean, I guess walking was the way I kept burning calories off. And this doctor is the doctor who diagnosed me. He said, you're anorexic. And I was like, I was embarrassed, because I thought I had been hiding my problem from people. And how could I possibly have been hiding from people? Because I was like a skeleton.
Right.
And he called me out on it. And he told me of a few different ways that I could go about recovering. And one of the things he told me about was a program at a mental health institute on the Upper East Side. And I ended up going there, and I went to family therapy with my family, and it really started me on a great path.
Now, you're one of 3 girls.
Yes, I'm the youngest.
Did your sisters have any kind of issues as well, or just you?
No, I was the only one. I mean, unfortunately, women in our society are all dealing with judging ourselves by our bodies and what we look like, and deciding whether or not we're good or bad based on what our bodies look like. So I think that my sisters are, as any woman in our country is, victim to that.
Right.
But neither one of them was anorexic or bulimic or anything like that.
Yeah. We're very tough on ourselves. I tell a joke, actually. I did it on Saturday night, where I'm with my husband and I see another woman, and who hasn't done this? And I tell my husband, hey, honey, am I as big as her? Am I as big as her? What's he going to say? Of course not. You're not as big as her. Men don't do this. Men don't look at another man and say, hey, babe, am I as big as him? I'd say, I don't know. He'd have to pull his pants down. What am I going to say? How am I going to know? But men don't beat themselves up. Like,
no, but it's
totally different.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you happen to see, there was a PBS special on a couple of weeks ago about women getting the vote, and what women went through to get the vote. For 60 years, they fought to get the vote. Mm-hmm. And we are in a different place. Men and women are in a completely different place, have different perspectives, and are treated completely differently in our society.
It's true. It's very, very true. And you know what? With that said, we're going to take a really quick commercial break. Last one. Don't go away. When we come back, more with Kathy Ladman. So where do you want to go tonight?
Are you bored?
Oh my God.
Hold on tight. We're gonna coast us.
We all get married with no intention to get divorced and want that happily ever after. Unfortunately, 50% of marriages don't survive. Kim Tinsley can help you navigate, negotiate, and mediate your divorce. Please give Kim a call at 516-972-3214. That's 516-972-3214.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Tea Time. You know, I'm so glad you joined me tonight and watched Tea Time. If you could please like the show and share it. My very special guest was Kathy Ladman tonight, and she's an actor and a comedian and a writer, and we've touched upon everything. So if you missed this, you can watch it on my page or the Tea Time page on Facebook. or on YouTube. You can watch it anywhere. But we talked about comedy, stand-up. We talked about television and film and her writing career. Joe LaPerna wants me to mention, because we have about 4 minutes left, but Joe LaPerna said you had an HBO special on One Night Stand?
Yes, I did. I did in 1989.
Wow, Joe LaPerna said it was awesome, and
Thank you, Joe.
loved it.
Thank you.
So I told you, you heard me tell her. And then, like I said, we touched upon your one woman show, and hopefully it will be back in 2021. I cannot wait to see you and meet you in person when you come to New York. I want to be front and center for that show.
Thank you so much.
You know, was it very cathartic writing it?
Yeah, but it's even more cathartic rehearsing it. It's really getting up on my feet with it is really exciting. It's really filling it out. It's filling in all the corners and all the unsaid and undramatized things are really being worked out on my feet.
Right. Do you I mean, look, you've been in California a very
35 years.
A long time.
35 years.
And I know you joke around that you obviously you're Jewish, but your husband's from the Midwest and he's like not.
What did you say? He what?
I said you joke around saying your husband's from the Midwest and he's not Jewish, right?
No, he's not. He's not. Yeah.
And but do you ever miss living in New York? Or
I do a lot. I do a lot.
You do. Yeah.
Yes.
Your sisters are still here? Your sisters are still here? So
and my mom is still there. She's 98. My mom's 98.
Bless. Oh, that's beautiful.
I know.
Oh, that's
I know, and I really want to come back and visit, but I can't because
I know
I'd have to quarantine for 2 weeks.
2 weeks. I know. My parents, God bless, my dad is 85, my mom's 82. They're coming back from Florida next month, and I can't wait. And they have to quarantine for 2 weeks. But
where are they going to quarantine? In their home?
Well, they're in West Palm in Florida, but they have a co-op in Queens,
right,
in Flushing, right by Fresh Meadows, actually.
Oh, cool.
So
I had to tilt my camera because my husband was walking through.
Oh, that's okay.
It's not okay.
It's not okay. Get out of the shot. But listen, I want to just wrap things up. We have a quick 2 minutes, and I want to let everyone know this is exciting. Kathy is on Cameo. Okay.
Yes.
So if you want Kathy to send you a personalized message, Joe LaPerna, for a ridiculous amount of money of only $30, right? $30. Listen, $30. Go to Cameo. Joe LaPerna. Kathy will say anything you want her to say.
Well, it's only $30.
Yeah, I mean, don't get too crazy. But I want people to follow you. They can follow you at Kathy Ladman on Facebook. KathyLadman.com is your website.
Yes.
Kathy Ladman 1, the number 1, is on Instagram. Is there anywhere else?
Twitter, Kathy Ladman.
Twitter, great. Okay, that's one thing I'm not on yet because I don't tweet. But yes, so Joe's very happy. I think you're going to be getting a few calls.
Oh, great! Fantastic.
So again, I just want to, wrap things up. I want to thank you so much for coming on my show. This means the world to me. It really does.
I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.
I'm very blessed, and I'm thrilled. And I want people to again follow you. And when your show picks up again after all this craziness, because it's like living in a really bad movie.
Yes.
Then hopefully you'll be back in New York in 2021 and. Joe LaPerna is going to join me, and we'll come see you. All right, so listen, again, Kathy, stay there for one quick minute.
Okay.
I want to thank everyone for watching and tuning in. I'm just so loved and humbled and blessed, really, that all of you just watch my show. I'm going to be doing this 2 years in August, so we're going to do a nice anniversary show. Thank you. But I want to thank everyone again for tuning in. Kathy, thank you so much. Follow her. She's everywhere. And
follow her. You
said
follow her.
Her. I know that New York accent slips up on me. Oh, it's so hard. And I listened to you, and I'm like, you kind of got rid of it. I'm not hearing the A's and the R's, and
No, that's true. That's very true. Yeah,
you know,
but
I listened to you, and I'm like, yeah, you know, took a friend of mine over a year to lose it. That's like Marissa Tomei lost it just lost her accent, and then she had to put it back on for my cousin Vinny, right after all that work. So listen, we're going to go. I want to thank everyone. Have a great week. Stay cool. Wash your hand. Wear your mask. Do what you're supposed to do, people. Okay? That's all I'm saying. All right. See you next week. Ciao, everybody.
Take care. Thank you so much.